Hey, welcome to Scare Score. The present day we shall speak of the lighthouse, if it be true we dareth.
Nice.
Released in 2019, this is one odd movie, or interesting, or weird, maybe all of those. It hit a decently high scare score, and it was definitely off-putting and unsettling from start to finish. I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long ass time, so I'm super glad I got to watch it, because it's stunning. Apparently, this is loosely based on a real-life tragedy from 1801, where two lighthouse keepers became trapped in an island during a storm. This is one of the best looking horror movies I have seen in a long time, so with that in mind, let's get started. As you know, we will score the movie in 4 different areas, each worth different percentages of the final score. Killer/evil force 35%, atmosphere 35%, kills 20%, and general enjoyment 10%, all this adding up to a final scare score. The movie is set in late 1800s, following Ephraim Winslow, played by our favorite angsty vampire Robert Pattinson, and Thomas Wake, played by our favorite little green goblin William Dafoe. Ephraim is a wiki. Nope, it's not a slur, it's just people who maintain lighthouses, and Thomas, who's his boss, who used to be a sailor. They both go to work on maintenance of a lighthouse on an isolated island, and they are meant to stay for 4 weeks, but some intense ass storms extend this trip for quite a while. Or maybe not, I don't know, this isn't clear at all in the movie. So we get to watch these two tough guys attempt to maintain their sanity and sexual urges kinda at bay, whilst living in complete isolation in this remote island, surviving mainly off of alcohol. The movie comes to a climax when Ephraim kills Wake, buries him alive, he discovers the secrets of the lighthouse, and then he gets eaten alive by seagulls. Now yeah, man, this is a shitty ass synopsis, but fuck it, I honestly have absolutely no clue how to orderly explain this movie in a paragraph because it is weird as fuck and we have no idea what's happening 90% of the time. For these first parts, I'll be focusing exclusively on the movie, trying to not intertwine too much with my full opinion of the movie as a whole, and I'll get to that in general enjoyment. This is just la creme de la creme of atmospheric movies, and I just butchered that. I'm dead serious. I went into this movie expecting a bunch because The Witch is one of my favorite horror movies, and considering they have the same director, Robert Eggers, it was expected for this to be atmospheric as shit, which, as I said, it is. If you haven't seen this movie yet, then 1. Go watch it and then come back and watch the video, and 2. Watch it in a dark room with some nice speakers or headphones. This movie doesn't just give you a vibe to go off on, it literally just sucks you right into it from the start. We get welcomed by the roaring sea and the straight faces of our 2 main characters, and from moment 1, we are presented with a loud, impending, constant thumping siren that lets you know, hey buddy, don't relax. First of all, we can see that this is an odd movie just by the looks. It was filmed on full-on black and white with old school 1920s-30s camera lenses and a very particular aspect ratio that isn't really used in modern cinema of basically a square 1:19:1. It really envelopes you into this old school timey vibe and helps set the tone. The music is composed by Mark Coven, who has worked in The Witch, in The Tallgrass, and The Terror, and it is absolutely stunning. One of the most eerie aspects of the score is literally that constant non-stop noise that just comes and goes but never fully disappears. It is just there in the background and it doesn't go away. It is unnerving, but aside from this, the music also has this old school vibe, relying heavily on this dreadful tone. All the pieces have this anxiety-inducing chords that persist all throughout the art piece. It's fantastic and has to be one of my favorite horror-specific soundtracks. I'd never listened to it in my life out of it, but for a horror movie, exquisite. Moving away from the score, the movie doesn't completely rely on it. The sound design by itself is amazing and knows when to use silence and remark on the fact that they are staying in an old-ass place that creaks anywhere you touch. On top of the score and sound design, we have this really well built set that was actually built from scratch. And the whole weather shit, from what I was able to recollect, was 100% real. They filmed in insanely shitty cold weathers, which made the whole process more dreadful and slow. Kudos to the cast and crew for sucking up this weather because apparently it was a real pain in the ass for everyone.
It was either raining or had a rain machine on for 3 months.
It is stunning and beautiful, and you understand why they stuck to black and white, because in color, it really wouldn't have hit the same notes, and this is a lot because I really don't like black and white shit. But As I said, this isn't black and white like in that Black Mirror episode that's in black and white where it looks like post-production effect like this. This was literally recorded with lenses of 1920, 1930 with strictly black and white cameras. Everything on set had to be insanely bright to get the right exposure, which if it had been added post-production, it really wouldn't have looked the same. The cinematography is fucking amazing and just full of insanely memorable shots. Now yeah, this is all incredible, but honestly what adds like 70% to the atmosphere of the movie is the acting. William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson function incredibly.
That's what I mean!
They play off perfectly off of each other and Dafoe kills it.
Through your gullet! Bursting ye! A bulging bladder no more!
That scene, by the way, goes on for like 3 minutes, and it was in a one-shot take. Apparently, he literally didn't blink for the duration of it. He is incredible. His monologues, his body language, his tone, just everything is out of this world. And Robert Pattinson doesn't fall short.
Damn. Shut up! I ain't finished yet!
Last time I saw him on a movie was Twilight, where his acting wasn't the best. So to get to see him revamped as this old school wiki was one delightful surprise. He is amazing. Dafoe is amazing, and together, well, 1 + 1. The tension in between these characters is crazy, be it aggressive, sexual, comedic. They bounce off each other and collide in so many points, and seeing these two madmen drive each other mad and fall into insanity as the movie progresses truly is something to behold. The dialogue is hard to get, to be honest. Like, you have to watch this with subtitles or you're gonna have a very bad time.
While giving station in this devil's own roll yourself.
But it adds to the vibe of the movie overall. Dafoe fucking kills it, goes ham, and I wasn't able to understand a big chunk of his dialogue because I had no idea what the fuck it meant. Like, give me a break. I study psychology, not fucking English literature. I hate this because I'm usually not a sucker for this artsy bullshit movies, but I completely fell for this one. With all this in mind, this old school, slow burning, dark, somber, eerie, off-putting atmosphere racks up a perfect score of 10 out of 10 on atmosphere. I don't know. JK, this is just weird to score because 1, it's hard to determine the evil force, literally fully depends on your interpretation of the movie, and 2, there is a killer, Winslow, but literally just at the end. So for the evil force, I'm literally just gonna go with basically the impending doom and slow progressing insanity the characters acquire. Starting off with the former, this uneasy feeling as the movie progresses is one of the scariest aspects of it. Like, just attempting to put myself in that situation gives me anxiety. Being deserted in a horrible weather island with absolutely nothing, running out of food, intoxicated water with one insane man. Not just the situation itself, but the slow burning mental deterioration is seriously creepy. We get to watch these two somewhat healthy guys be driven into a madness to the point where it feels like neither of them know what the fuck is going on, and this transfers so well to the viewer. We have no clue what is happening or who is reliable. There's doubt on doubt on doubt on doubt, and this evil force is just great.
See? Now I'm free. Now I'm free from your designs!
Now, onto the killer, which would be Winslow. Well, as I said, it's fantastic. We especially get that driven to madness feeling off of him, mainly over Thomas. He arrives as this normalish dude, just getting a well-ish paying job and slowly turning to alcoholism and mental illness. He's confused, he's lost, he's intrigued. He quite literally goes crazy. He beats the fuck out of birds and then beats the living shit out of his partner, but he isn't scary per se. Once again, the scary thing is this isolation and insanity feeling from the movie that just is very clearly reflected on him, and it's just not that scary. 8 out of 10 on killer. The kills, well, it's hard to rate too much since there's 2. I know that this isn't really a kill towards a human, but that scene where Winslow fucking demolishes, obliterates this annoying ass seagull is fucking crazy. He goes absolutely ham and just releases all his fucking inner anger and leaves the one-eyed bird absolutely mangled. It is just so incredibly shocking that it leaves you with a feeling of disgust and uneasiness. When Winslow flips shit and kills Thomas is also amazing and one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. Like, aside from it being so fucking weird when he's beating the shit out of him, like, I wasn't sure if I had accidentally smoked and was absolutely tripping or if I missed something because it was crazy. But that particular scene where Wake is being buried alive,
Sent where no man is suffered. that want to toil and is
His acting and commitment to the scene, serious anxiety. Just seeing the dirt being thrown on his face and mouth and him literally not doing anything about it, it hurts. It's unnerving and stressful and just wow. And the final death, well, full of references. The missing eye, the seagulls killing him. It's great, it's gory, but very meh, to be honest. More than anything, it's just a very, 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 very artsy and a wonderful last shot. 8 out of 10 on kills, just not that scary to score higher. Now, let's get down to general enjoyment. Is this a good movie? For me, it was. For a lot of other people, it wasn't. This just feels like a movie that some people absolutely adore and another group of people hate it. But I feel like that is expected with an artsy-ish odd movie like this one. I seriously enjoyed it. Being warped into this sick little island with 2 amazing characters was a fantastic trip, but I have a few problems that don't let me give it a 10 out of 10. First of all, while watching this movie, I felt stupid. Aside from not understanding some of the language, it's one of those movies that I feel like an English teacher would play and would analyze it for hours. It felt like The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway in the sense that it can be taken as either full of symbolism and is open to infinite amounts of analysis, or you can take it as it is, 2 guys going insane on an island. And since I'm not a pretentious fuck and I'm not gonna sit here pretending I'm all poetic, interpreting the phallic objects and meaning of different aspects, I take it as it's given. 2 sexually confused guys going insane on an island. I'm not gonna look more into it because this isn't a breakdown or interpretation of the movie. And it's not just me. In an interview, Robert Pattinson literally says,
I'm almost certain that me and Willem have an entirely different perception of the movie, especially when we were shooting it. Robert Eggers is probably thinking it's an entirely different movie too.
and this is nice and fun to a certain extent because you don't know what the fuck is happening during 90% of the movie. And in the end, you still don't understand. There isn't any resolution. There isn't any magical, this is what was actually happening. Nope. You leave the movie feeling uneasy and more confused, thinking about it for hours and wanting to rant and talk about it with someone else. Unfortunately for her, that was my girlfriend, and now you guys. There's this weird sexual undertone that in general adds to the tension. There's this clear asymmetry in the relation between both characters that goes changing as the movie progresses.
Yes, sir.
Aye, sir. Ain't you never been to sea before? Back, I says, back!
There's this lack of time awareness of the characters and the viewer. There's this incredible aspect of who's reliable. We think the old man is crazy, but then it's Winslow. Or is it Winslow? Because it turns out he was lying and he killed someone. And his name isn't even Winslow. Or is it Old Man Thomas? Because apparently he also killed someone. Or maybe not. But turns out he is crazy because he chases Winslow with an axe. But wait, it was actually Winslow chasing Thomas with an axe? Is the old man gaslighting the living shit out of Winslow? We literally don't know, and we never find out about anything. It's 2 heavily unreliable characters, and add to this the fact that we don't know from whose point of view the story is told.
I don't know shit about fuck.
We don't even have a perception of time, and neither do the characters. There's a bunch of shit that just made me love the movie. But how I said, this whole confusing shit, not knowing anything, felt like a fault at times. Like, yeah, open to each viewer, but at the same time, it feels like the plot is there and just doesn't go anywhere. And it relies heavily on the acting and atmosphere, and that can only take you so far. Still, I loved it, so 9 out of 10 on general enjoyment. This was a scary movie, but a slow burning one that gave me more fear as we reached the end. There aren't any jump scares. This is mainly a psychological horror movie, and it does a fantastic job at keeping you on your toes. It is slow, but this serves the purpose of immersing the viewer in the experience, to take them on a journey of insanity and madness that these poor men go through. As I said, it won't bust your heart rate through the roof, but it's mainly a slow burn that slowly settles in to freak the shit out of you. In line with this, my heart rate throughout the movie had an average of 67, a maximum of 84 in that fucking scene.
why'd you spill your beans, Tommy?
And a minimum of 61. As a small recap, the movie got a 10 out of 10 on atmosphere, 8 out of 10 on killer/evil force, 8 out of 10 on kills, and finally 9 out of 10 on general enjoyment. It's a scary movie, just not a shit your pants scary movie. So, how scary is it? It gets a final scare score of 8.80, landing on the upper area of you'll get scared but you can sleep. This is fantastic. It's a slow psychological horror movie that will stick to you after you watch it whether you enjoy it or not, which in my case, it was pretty darn good. It's artsy as fuck and the acting is out of this world for a horror movie, so buckle up if you still haven't seen it. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I upload weekly, so be sure to drop by and check out the next Scare Score. If there are any requests as to what movies you'd like to see in the future, make sure to drop it in the comments and I'll take a look. Thanks for tuning in to Scare Score.